Good morning. I'm Isabella Sherwood here with Matthew Cantu, and we are the new cyber risk specialist for the state of Texas. We're joined here by Jeremy Carter and Cam Beasley for this presentation of abnormal email security delivered by the UT RSOC, strengthening county cyber defenses across Texas. First, I would like to go over this is information presented in this session is for educational purposes only. Items presented are best practices and are not generally a requirement of TAC RMP coverage. TAC is not endorsing any software, services, or technology companies if referenced in this presentation. This also does not count as a cyber program in terms of this does not cover your future cyber training. And any issues that you may have or questions to ask, please discuss with your lawyer of your county. And now I'll be handing it over to Matthew.
Hello, everybody. Like Isabella mentioned, my name is Matthew Cantu, your other cyber risk specialist. And today, what we'll cover is the growing risk of email-based threats, which a lot of counties are suffering today. What the UTRSOC does and how they support the counties, how abnormal security detects advanced attacks, and also how to activate these services easily. These will all be explained further down the presentation.
And now we're going to pass it over to Cam and Jeremy to introduce themselves and introduce the UT Regional Security Operations Center.
Well, I'll start us off. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining this talk. We're super excited to be interacting with y'all. My name is Cam Beasley. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer here at UT Austin, and I'll hand it over to Jeremy.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for having us. So as Cam mentioned, I am Jeremy Carter. I'm the UT RSOC manager. We're excited to be here with you all and share with you how the UT RSOC is helping counties across Texas stop these modern cyber threats, especially those sneaky email attacks. So with that, let's kick things off with who we are and what we do. So the UT RSOC. The UT RSOC, it's a state-funded regional security operations center. We're one of three, and we're proud to be based right here at UT Austin. The other two are out at Angelo State in San Angelo, and then UT Rio Grande Valley. So we're operated by the UT Information Security Office. We built a team specifically focused on helping public sector organizations across Texas. So that's your cities, counties, school districts, higher education, anyone who needs extra cybersecurity support. So the services we provide, they're designed to be easy to access, deliver immediate value, and especially if you have a small team or limited time to chase down alerts. Our setup is designed to handle large-scale operations and provide meaningful, actionable insights back to you. One thing that we're really proud of is that we are a student-powered program. So we currently have around 70 students in the program that we're training to become cybersecurity analysts and cybersecurity professionals. These students help us monitor real-world environments, and they're protecting the real infrastructure that we deal with on a daily basis. Finally, everything we do is designed to be support 24/7 monitoring for you as a potential client, automation, alerting, so we can detect issues fast and get you the information right when it matters. Next slide, please. Challenges for Texas. So we know that there's many cybersecurity challenges out there, especially at the county level. We've heard quite a few of them here frequently. Cybersecurity can definitely feel like a heavy lift, especially when you're already stretched thin. Here's what we hear all the time. First, limited staff. Many of you are wearing every hat: IT, networking, help desk, now cybersecurity. We've even heard situations where the local ISD technical person is also serving as the city or county IT lead. That's a lot. So you're not alone, especially across various other counties and cities in Texas. Secondly, there's a big reliance on third-party vendors or managed service providers. A lot of them are doing great work, but their role is usually just to keep the lights on, not to dig into those suspicious log activity or hunt threats proactively. Third, time. Not everybody has a lot of time. So even if alerts or logs are coming in, who realistically has time to go through all that or fine-tune every policy? And lastly, budgets. It becomes tough to justify advanced tools when you're already doing more with less. Meanwhile, all the phishing and ransomware threats, they just keep growing. Attackers know counties may not have the same defenses as larger cities or agencies. And they're certainly taking advantage of that. That's where the RSOC comes in, and we're here to help close those gaps, provide modern support, and serve as a force multiplier for you all who are already doing their best every day to protect your own county. Slide. Great. So let's talk about what we call our low friction services. So low friction, these are just our tools that we can turn on quickly. No installs, no heavy lift on your end. Most of them require just a few pieces of information from you. Things like your domain, your IP ranges, verified points of contact. And once they're on, they'll start to deliver value right away. So we'll cover a few of these real quick. TorqueBot. This one's our lightweight passive scanner. It's going to look for critical web issues like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, without ever touching your live site. It uses publicly cached data and alerts you only on verified risks. So you'll receive a monthly report. This one is going to show your total number of URLs that it was scanned, any verified or high-risk vulnerabilities tied to your organization or your domains. Additionally, you get a comparison by entity. So in this case, counties. You and how you stack up against other Texas counties will all be shown on this report. The next one's going to be our CredMaster. This one monitors the dark web for stolen credentials tied to your organization. If someone's county email and password show up for sale and the password still works, we're going to flag it. If a credit card appears, we're also going to notify you on those. There's no noise to these. It's just real threats that you can actually act on. Scavenger. This is one of our other tools. It's going to map your external attack surface. Think exposed login portals, forgotten remote tools, or publicly visible devices. This one's going to give you a clean list of what attackers see when they look at your network. Gastronaut. This one goes just a little bit deeper. This one's going to crawl your web app. It's going to simulate attacker behavior and identify high-risk vulnerabilities that could expose sensitive data or allow a breach. And then finally, advanced email security. This one is powered by Abnormal. This is a vendor solution we manage and support. It uses behavioral AI to stop impersonation, invoice fraud, and phishing attacks that traditional email filters miss. Together, all these tools are going to give you great visibility across your public-facing infrastructure, your accounts, your inboxes, and they're already running today for dozens of Texas counties and cities. And on that note, I'll turn it over to Cam for the next slide.
Awesome, thanks. So why are we focusing on email to begin with? There's lots of other security approaches that we could take. Well, based on our analysis over a number of years, we've been providing security services across the state since 2009. We found that about 87% of the breaches that we encounter generally start with phishing attacks or email-borne attacks. So we want to be able to neuter those threats before they ever land in a mailbox so that folks can't click on them. Endpoint detection tools and network detection tools are really important as part of a program as well, but this is a really great security control to add, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. It's a lightweight adjustment to your overall county's program. So we found that tools are evolving, attackers' tools are evolving much faster than a lot of the traditional email detection capabilities can keep up with. So as AI is leveraged, especially the AI-based phishing attacks and social engineering attacks are getting really, really good. Business email compromises are another big problem we see across the state with impersonations and other invoice fraud based attacks. Some of those are very, very big. We know of one that was just over $2.5 million. So Abnormal does a great job of detecting these and cleaning them out of your environment. So, like I said, last point is just the secure email gateways that you might be using today or that you might have used in the past. They're not keeping up with a lot of the modern attacks that we're seeing. So Abnormal is a great add-on to what you might already have. Next, please. So it is using artificial intelligence for a lot of its learning and comparison, and it does that specifically for your ecosystem. So your environment will interact with a common set of individuals more frequently than, say, the general population. So it understands who you'd normally interact with, and if somebody that's never contacted you before contacts you, that can stick out like a sore thumb. So it understands a lot of that normal behavior activity and flags unusual interactions. What we found over a number of years of using this tool is that it specifically reduces a lot of the spoofing attacks and the impersonation attacks and all the fraud cruft that your organization will encounter. So we're really excited about further expanding this out into the county space. This does require Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace platforms to be leveraged. And we've been using this across the UT system set of campuses for about 3 years now, and it's worked amazingly well. We worked with a vendor to further tune and optimize the service, and it's done a great job of reducing the threats across our campuses. So we're really excited to bring this to you all as well. Next, please. We talked a little bit about this earlier, but it does a really great job of identifying those spoofing attacks. So anything from an organizational leader sending a scam email to somebody asking them to go get CVS gift cards to, hey, this is Cam, come and click on this link. All sorts of different impersonation attacks are handled very well by Abnormal. Those vendor invoice scams that I mentioned before does a great job of those. And when we start to add up what that cost could be, it's substantial. What that impact could be for just one of those getting through, it's substantial. Internal account compromises are really where it can excel. When someone does get compromised through some other mechanism, maybe a browser compromise or whatever it might have been, if the attacker starts to pivot into your organization and spew out other mail to get other victims, Abnormal does a great job of picking that up in real time. And then more and more of the phishing that we see is malware based, so it's not coming with a malicious payload attached to it. It wants you to go take a secondary action to then get yourself compromised. So it does a really good job of identifying those types of problems as well. Next, please. And I hand it back to Jeremy at this point.
Yeah, so what you're going to see is a county partner with us. So quick setup. So we're going to support the deployment fully with Abnormal. You're going to get an integration link from us that you just click. It's a 3-step wizard, takes about 5 or 10 minutes to get going. You let us know that you're done, and then you're up and running within Abnormal. Within about a 24-hour period, you'll have access to a dashboard that you'll be able to see any threats that Abnormal would have remediated or caught. It's going to alert those, it's going to show those to you, and then you'll have to take action on your side. The alerts are also reviewed by us. Any escalations that need to be taken, we review all of these individually before anything is taken. Monthly summaries, so you can do this, you can create these on your dashboard that you'll have access to as a system administrator, or we could generate those and share them with you as well. So these are going to show threat activity, either across a group of organizations, a group of counties, or just yours. We can identify it like that, so that way you can kind of see the trends as they're occurring across your various entities. As Cam pointed out earlier, it's going to work natively with those existing platforms already. Proofpoint, the things that Google and Microsoft have inherently built in. So it doesn't replace them. It just works integrated hand in hand very well with them. The abuse mailbox that customer can set up, they can have, you can set up an abuse mailbox where a customer can send an email that they may find that might be malicious or suspicious, and it will go to Abnormal. Abnormal will analyze it, and it will respond back to that individual and let them know if that email was malicious or if it was safe. That'll save your IT time or IT team time hands down across the board, because you won't have to answer all these emails, especially if it's a bigger campaign that's gone against your organization, that you won't have to respond back to 500 different users. They could just forward it to this email account. It'll respond back, and all the workload is done for you. Completely reduces that workload of the mail and security team. Slide, please. I'll pass it on to Cam.
Cam, you're muted.
I'm muted, so sorry. So this is data from this last month in November. we have three counties that onboarded and abnormal. So we're using that data as some example data for you. And you can zoom in on this if you're having a hard time seeing any of the text. And these slides will be printed later, so you can zoom in on them as well. But this is just to give you an idea of, in a month's time, and some of these counties are fairly small. They're getting a lot of activity, a lot of attack activity every day. So if you look at that purple bar chart across the top, you can see that every day they're dealing with different attacks that are coming across the wire and into their environment. And down below on the attack strategies breakdown, you can see how those typically break down. There's a lot of phishing from unknown senders. There's impersonation attacks. There's ironically a lot of, not a lot, but a notable number of COVID-19 related attacks. So that might be related to healthcare services in the county and just other spoofed mail. Next slide, please. This is an interesting breakdown of that same data as well, where again, we've got about 2,500 attacks that have been seen as of the time that this slide was made for those three counties. If of course, we're going to have a lot of spam and a lot of phishing activity at the top. But if your eyes kind of wander down to near the bottom where it says invoice and payment fraud, this is where we really, and even the social engineering around business email compromise, the invoice payment fraud is really notable because this is where a fake vendor can try to motivate you to pay a bill that you might not otherwise need to be paying, or they're impersonating some other actor and trying to get money out of either the individual in your county or the county itself. So these are lower volume, but boy, do they have a big hit if they impact your campus or your county. So this is really interesting data for us, and we think it's pretty material for y'all too. Next slide. Back to Jeremy.
Awesome. Thanks, Kim. So we talked about our low friction services, and then we just want to talk about some of the other services that RSOC can support you in a much more integrated way. So these are designed to help counties that want a little bit more hands-on monitoring and strategic guidance. So first, we've got endpoint detection response, or EDR. It's a tool that's going to keep an eye on what's happening on your endpoints, laptops, desktop servers, so you can catch those threats early. It's going to look for suspicious activity, malware behavior, known attack patterns. It's going to send those alerts before something small turns into something serious. We work with whatever EDR solution that you currently have. We try to do the best that we can, whether that's Microsoft Defender, CrowdStrike, SentinelOne, or something else. Our goal is to meet you where you are, not ask you to change a platform. So we help ingest and correlate those alerts. We work closely with your team to make sense of the data, escalate those real threats, and try and reduce that noise. Depending on your EDR platform and the level of access that you allow us based on a contract, we may be able to assist with direct response actions as well, like isolating a device, stopping a process, or containing a threat. So if one of your machines starts to behave, strangely, we can spot it, investigate it, and support you in responding fast and effectively. Next, we have our network detection response, or NDR. So NDR is all about watching the traffic that moves in and out of your network, so we can detect those threats that may not show up on a device. It's going to look for things like unusual data flows, lateral movement between your systems, or signs that someone's trying to sneak data out of your environment. In practice, we do this by setting up passive monitoring at your internet egress point, where your internet connects to the outside world. So that'll allow us to observe traffic in real time without interrupting normal operations. It's important to note that NDR is going to be deployed on a case-by-case basis. Every county setup is a little bit different. So we work with you, your ISP, your internal IT team. We try and determine if and how we could safely collect that traffic, but it's often done using like fiber chaps or span ports. If it makes sense, we'll take care of the technical details on our side. There's no software to install. Small disruption, and as you would need to install this equipment, but hopefully it's just quiet visibility into what's really moving across your network. Next is our MDBR Plus, or malicious domain blocking and reporting. So this is a DNS-based protection layer that blocks access to known bad websites, hopefully before your users even click on anything that's going to be risky. So it works quietly in the background. It's going to protect your users from phishing, malware, ransomware sites without changing how they work today. So starting in early 2026, early next year, we'll begin offering the MDBR Plus to our county partners and various other partners as part of our expanded tool set. We're working directly with the Center for Internet Security to make deployment as easy as possible. And it should be super easy with minimal lift to get this deployed. Next, we're going to be offering vulnerability management. This will be available also early 2026 as part of our growing RSOC support. The service is designed to give you a clear picture of what your infrastructure may be risk, whether it's unpatched systems, outdated software, exposed services, or misconfigurations. We're going to use scanning tools to identify those weaknesses across your network, and then we're going to work with you to prioritize what truly matters. We know a lot of counties are dealing with legacy equipment or a mix of like on-prem, cloud systems, things like that. These offerings are going to cut through the noise and give you actionable guidance, not just a giant spreadsheet of findings. Even more important, we're going to try and help track remediation over time so you can show progress, document improvements, and feel confident that your security posture without having to tackle everything all at once. If you've ever had that feeling of like, I know we have risks, but I'm not quite sure where to start, this is the kind of support that brings clarity and structure to the process. Finally, we're going to provide support with the Texas Cybersecurity Framework and broader GRC, or Government Risk and Compliance. So we can help review those policies, offer feedback on compliance readiness, assist with mapping controls to frameworks. And if you're trying to figure out how your current efforts stack up against state requirements or need a second set of eyes before an audit, we're here to help guide that process. This includes everything, or support for evaluating like cloud vendors and understanding how like shared responsibilities could apply under Texas RAM. All these services are built to scale with your needs, whether you want to start off small or take a more hands-on approach. We'll meet you where you are and we'll grow with you. We want to support your team with whatever level of involvement makes the most sense. Slide, please. All right. So if you're thinking this is all great, right? But how do we get started? It's really super simple. So just reach out to us. You can visit our website. It's listed here, rsoc.utexas.edu, or send us a quick email at rsoc@utexas.edu. That's going to open the door to our conversation. Nothing formal, just a chance for us to learn more about your needs and answer your questions. What we'll do is we'll set up a meeting with you. We're going to confirm your low friction services. Honestly, if you're public Texas sector or public sector entity in Texas already, you're probably already being passively monitored by most of our tools like Doorpot and Scavenger. All we really need to do is verify those domains, IPs, and a point of contact, and we'll make sure that those reports are going to the right place. If you're interested in those deeper services like EDR, NDR, or the one that we're speaking about today, abnormal security, we'll walk you through a simple agreement called an interlocal contract, or ILC. There's no cost to you, and it gives us the green light to work more directly with your team. Next, you choose what to activate. Nothing is one size fits all. So whenever you're ready, we'll deploy those services that make sense for your county on your timeline and on your pace. Whether that's one tool or several, we'll meet you where you are and help you take the next step towards stronger cybersecurity. Next. All right, so if you're thinking abnormal security might be a good fit, you're probably already eligible. Again, as we mentioned prior to, if your county uses Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace, you're good to go. There's no hardware to mail. There's no hardware to install. There's no mail routing changes. Setup takes about 5 to 10 minutes. And then we can have you seeing results in just 3 to 10 business days. If you're not on Office 365 or Google, that's okay too. We do encourage you to reach out to the TAC CIRA team, who offer enterprise-grade email services that support this type of integration. UTRSOC is fully staffed, ready to scale the service across Texas. We've tuned it to our own environment. We've tested it in various deployments, and we're ready to help more entities activate it quickly and confidently. One important note, Abnormal's discounted pricing is only available through the UTRSOC. So please don't go to the vendor directly. We have a statewide arrangement that allows us to offer steep discounts and flexible options that aren't available elsewhere. If you happen to be a larger county with over 2,000 employees, we're happy to work with you directly too to discuss sizing, architecture, and pricing tailored to your scale. Bottom line, we're ready when you are. Just reach out. Next slide.
So these are some questions that we commonly hear that Matthew and I are going to be discussing with Jeremy and Cam. And if you have any more questions from the counties, please put them in the chat section and we can also read them out after we're done with these. So first I wanted to go off, is this really no cost? How is that, for the counties that for 2,000 plus employees, is that just for abnormal AI or the RSOC? And can you explain that?
Yep, all the services that we offer are state funded through the Texas legislature. We don't push any cost on to any of the entities that we serve, with the exception of especially large counties or entities in Texas that are looking for abnormal. We do have a slight deviation for those where there is a cost associated, but in general, all the services that we offer are no cost.
Awesome. Another question that is asked a lot is, what if counties are already using Microsoft 365 or Google or Proofpoint for instance?
Yeah, that's great. It pairs well with those, and it needs to have 365 or Google. In fact, you can keep those services running, and then add normal layers on top, and just as an enhancement to what you're already doing today.
So many IT teams in counties are already very overloaded with alerts and helping individuals with computers and printers. Will this generate more alerts for IT teams?
No, and the alert, not necessarily. The alerts that will be fired will be verified alerts, like this is a compromised account, or this is something that you need to take action on. It won't tell you about all the spam that it's finding. It's just going to do that in the background, and you're going to be able to see that in reports if you want to check that out. But not an overwhelming amount of volume from alerts. No.
Gotcha. Well, I know compliance is a very big thing for counties, especially when it comes to IT. So we just want to make sure that all of this, can this help with compliance?
In your general, someone can't hear the questions being asked. So the question was, can this help with compliance in general? Yes, this is in the layer of defense mechanisms that you would have in your overall information security program. This is an important one. So this would definitely support controls for this Texas Cyber Security Framework, the Texas Administrative Code 202, and then other local policies and laws. So for sure.
Slide.
So can we use free email services with this? So if I have a Yahoo or just my personal Gmail account, can we use that?
No, this is really designed to work with those enterprise scale platforms like 365 and Google Workspace. If you don't have that, like I said, you can go to different managed service providers, and then Taxira is a really good option as well.
And is there a limit on the email volume?
There is no limit on email volume. This service is based on licensed mailboxes and not volume. So no, you can send as much mail as you want to.
Who oversees the managing services? Will it be you two? Will it be IT, or will it be students?
The UT-RSOC has a team of full-time employees and student employees, and they will be overseeing and managing the service in general. But each county will have access to their own tenant and be able to have people that they designate to have that access and visibility as well.
Great.
Is this service only offered through the UT-RSOC? For instance, if there's a county down south and their closest RSOC is the UT-RGV RSOC, could they expect these same services that we talked about here?
So this agreement is through the Texas RSOC, but it is extended to other RSOCs in the state. So we just met with them, in fact, this morning, and we partner with them in lots of different ways. So if you're if you're served by Angelo State or by RGV, just let them know, and then we can help navigate that process with them.
Even more questions continue. Who would have access to this service in terms of seeing reports?
So the UT-RSOC staff would manage the service, so they would naturally have access. If you have your other RSOC constituents in your region serving you, they might have access if you designate that. And then any other individuals that you designate in the county wanted to have access to abnormal would have access as well. And that's it.
Great. And I know we went over this just previously, but just so we could so you could repeat it, is Abnormal a standalone service only offered by the UT RSOC?
No, you could go to the market and get Abnormal yourself for sure at a different pricing level. This is a really exclusive pricing arrangement that we have with Abnormal based on the scale and the volume that we're business that we're doing with them. So we would really encourage counties to come to us, because once you go to Abnormal, we really directly as a potential client, we can't interact with you any longer based on the contract that we have with Abnormal. So come to us first, if possible.
And are there any other service provided by the RSOC, specifically when talking about who are the vendors that you use, or are these services that you created yourself?
Most of the services that Jeremy went over today are services that we created ourselves, and they're designed to scale across the state, and they're serving the state at large today. We do, where we don't necessarily need to add direct value to things like Abnormal, we will go to the market and choose vendor partners to work with to fill that specific gap. So we offer a lot of those services, and then we partner with the other RSOCs across the state who offer their own services, whether it be endpoint detection response or network detection response, et cetera. So it's really kind of a big RSOC family, if you will. And then we're just covering gaps that don't currently have a competing or a similar service in the state. That's where some of our uniqueness folds in.
Great. And then we have one more question from the chat from Kevin. So what is the process of handling malicious emails sent from a valid vendor or an external email address?
And I covered that a little bit in chat, but we can get into it a little bit more detailed. So typically, if a malicious email or a bad email comes into the service, this is assuming you've gone through the onboarding process and you're fully live at that point. It'll it'll have a disposition on that mail, and if it identifies it as bad or malicious, it'll move it out of the user's mailbox. So it gets delivered. It's a passive service, and then like milliseconds after it's delivered, it will be evaluated. So if it's determined to be bad, or it'll move it into a designated folder that you set up for your tenant. So maybe everybody gets a unwanted email folder or a bad email folder, whatever you want to call it. We can work with you on that, and then they will just go there. And then you can delete those from that folder too if it's really nasty and you just want to purge it from the system. But that's generally how that workflow would work.
Awesome. And next, Matthew is going to cover us being the new cyber risk specialist.
Yeah, so like Isabella said, we are the new cybersecurity risk specialist for TAC. And as you can see on the map, I am in charge of the Southwest and Southeast regions, and Isabella is in charge of the Northeast and Northwest regions. We just want to say we're very excited to be a part of this great team, and we look forward to working with all counties to better their cybersecurity footprint. So thank you very much. Thank you for letting us be in charge of, getting out there for you guys. Thank you.
And then we just wanted to go over contacting us, the TAC RMP cyber team, as well as what other services TAC provides for cyber coverage members. So we provide security awareness and phishing trainings, digital forensic incident response and data breach coach. We have the eRisk Hub. We're doing a complete revamp of it to make it just centered for counties. We also do custom tabletop exercises. We have relationships with the Texas ISAO and MSISAC. We also help with self-cyber assessments. And then we also do policy reviews as well as tech vendor and contract management workshops, along with on-site cyber training workshops. And we work really closely with the RSOC. So if you have any questions about them that you would like to reach out to us first, you can. And if you have any questions about any of these resources, you can find them on the TAC website as well as on this slide. And you can email us at tacrmpcyber@county.org, and we can get back to you as soon as possible. Our boss, Robert Ruiz, has been really implementing our effectiveness of getting on this team, and we are really ready to hit the ground running starting in 2026. So please reach out with any emails that you have. And I believe that is it for today. Thank you all so much for coming today, and thank you, Jeremy and Cam, for coming, and all of the county members that are here today. We really appreciate you choosing us as your coverage providers.
Are there any questions before we go? I know that we had some in chat, but I don't know if there were any others. We have time. I didn't want to cut anybody short.
But yeah, if you have any more questions, please ask them now. Other than that, this is the end of our presentation.
I just put a link in the chat to the county.org webinar archives page. If you know of somebody who may need some of the information that was presented in this webinar, the recording of it will be available by the end of this week on the webinar archives page. Alternatively, if you would like a copy of the slides from the presentation, you can send an email to tacrcs@county.org, and we will send you a copy of the slides from this presentation. And if we do not have any questions, then we can go ahead and give you back some time in your day. We're ending a little bit early, but that's great. And thank you all so much for attending, and hope to see you at some future webinars.
Thanks, y'all.
Have a good day.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.